The night had settled like a velvet curtain over the city, the kind that makes every sound sharper and every shadow longer. The house was quiet, but not in a peaceful way, more like the stillness before something shifts. She sat on the couch, knees pulled to her chest, staring at the faint reflection of herself in the darkened window. Her mind replayed everything that had happened so far, like pieces of a puzzle she couldn't stop touching. Then she heard footsteps, measured, confident, unhurried. He appeared from the hallway, his black shirt rolled up at the sleeves, hair slightly damp from a quick shower. There was always something about him that made the air shift when he entered a room, as if gravity leaned a little in his direction. "You're still awake," he said, voice low, with that mix of curiosity and quiet authority. She shrugged, hugging her knees a little tighter. "Couldn't sleep," she whispered. He walked over, and without asking, sat down beside her. Close, but not too close. Just enough that she could feel the faint warmth radiating from him. For a while, they didn't speak. It was strange how silence between them didn't feel empty anymore, it felt charged. Like there were 100 things waiting to be said, but neither of them was ready to be the first to break it. Finally, he turned his head slightly toward her. "You keep overthinking," he said, almost like a fact rather than an accusation. She frowned. "No, I don't." He gave her that slight half-smile, the kind that always disarmed her despite herself. "You do. Your eyes give you away." Her heart skipped for some ridiculous reason she couldn't explain, and she quickly looked away. "Maybe I just don't trust Isili," she murmured. "Good," he replied, leaning back. "Trust is dangerous. Especially here." His words should have made her uneasy, but instead they weirdly comforted her. He wasn't sugarcoating anything. He wasn't pretending the world he lived in was anything other than sharp-edged. That honesty made her chest tighten. She glanced at him again and noticed how tired he looked beneath that composed exterior. There were faint shadows under his eyes, like someone carrying too many secrets for too long. For a second, she wanted to say something soft, something real, but the words got tangled on her tongue. So instead, she did something unexpected even to herself. She nudged his shoulder lightly with hers. It wasn't much, just a small, awkward gesture. But he froze for a second, surprised, then a quiet laugh escaped him, low and rare. Was that supposed to be comforting? He asked, amused. She flushed instantly. "Shut up," she muttered, hiding her face in her hands. But he gently pulled her hands away, his fingers brushing against hers. "Hey," he said softly, and for the first time that night, there was no guardedness in his tone, just warmth. It worked. Her breath caught, and for a moment, neither of them looked away. The world outside could have burned down, and she wouldn't have noticed. The silence between them had shifted. It wasn't just charged now. It was delicate, fragile, almost tender. Then his phone buzzed. The spell broke. His entire expression changed in an instant, like a switch had been flipped. He grabbed the phone, scanned the message, and his jaw tightened. "We've got company," he muttered. She straightened immediately, pulse quickening. "What do you mean?" He stood, already pulling on his jacket. "Someone's moving close to the perimeter." "Stay here." She got up to, "I'm not staying alone." His eyes met hers. Firm. "This isn't up for discussion." But she didn't back down. "And I'm not going to sit here and pretend nothing's happening. You're not the only one who doesn't like being told what to do." For a second, something flickered in his eyes, annoyance, maybe, but also something like admiration. He exhaled slowly. "Fine, but you follow my lead. No arguments." She nodded, heartbeat hammering against her ribs. He handed her a small, sleek weapon, more for defense than offense. She stared at it, then at him. I know." He cut in gently, adjusting her grip. His hands were warm around hers, steady, guiding. "Just keep it close. Don't try to be a hero." They moved quietly through the house, the air thick with tension. Somewhere outside, faint sounds echoed, gravel crunching, a whisper of movement. It wasn't paranoia. Someone was out there. He motioned for her to stay back near the doorway while he slipped toward the side window, eyes sharp. She watched him move, silent, precise, like someone who had lived his entire life in the shadows. Then a sudden noise, metal clanging against metal, made her flinch. He turned instantly, finger against his lips, signaling her to stay still. Minutes stretched like hours. Then headlights swept across the wall from outside. A black vehicle idled just beyond the gate, not their usual allies. She caught a glimpse of a symbol on the side door, subtle, but enough to make his expression harden. "Rossi's men," he muttered under his breath. She didn't know the details, but she'd heard the name. Dangerous, unpredictable, the kind of people you didn't want at your doorstep uninvited. He moved toward the back entrance, checking angles. She followed at a safe distance, adrenaline buzzing through her veins. Suddenly, a loud knock echoed through the house. 3 deliberate bangs. She jumped. He glanced at her. "Stay quiet. Whatever happens, don't open that door unless I tell you." She nodded, throat dry. He approached the door slowly, hand resting casually on his concealed weapon. "Who's there?" he called out, voice steady. A voice from the other side answered, smooth and mocking. "Old friends." "Thought we'd drop by," he smirked, but his eyes didn't soften. "Funny. I don't remember inviting you." The tension crackled like static. She stood behind the wall, heart pounding, listening. She didn't know where this night was heading, but somehow, she knew it was a turning point. Between danger and something softer, something she couldn't name yet. And despite everything, when he glanced back at her briefly, his eyes locked with hers not as a boss giving orders, but as someone silently saying, "Stay with me."